afternoon, everyone, and welcome to our third guest speaker in this room for the conference this weekend. Doing some information on the psychology of branding, pricing, and selling in your hypnosis business. Please make welcome Linda Witchell.
Hello, everyone. It's so great to be here in Melbourne with you all. And today I'm going to talk about something that I bet you've not really thought about before. It's sort of a little secrets that go on in this psychology world about how you actually develop and get more clients. So who here wants more clients? Yeah, we all do, don't we? And we all want the type of clients that we really, really want. So my name's Linda Witchell and I have a business in the UK, but I do travel an awful lot and I live in Australia for a few months and then go back to the UK. And I specialise in anything to do with stress, anxiety, but I've got some little niches like pyuresis, scared of peeing in public places, things like exam anxiety and lots of other little niches like FND. So today, I want to tell you about the first time I came to Melbourne. Now, the first time I came to Melbourne, I was staying at this area called Docklands over here. And we wanted to go and see this great Flinders Street station because it's meant to be so famous and you see pictures of it everywhere, don't you? So I'm going to tell you the story about the first time I went to Flinders Street station. So we were over here at Docklands and we were going to get on this tram. And look at this tram. It's so obvious. It's 35 tram and it's got its trademark on there, its logo on there, got a driver. So in this story, you're the driver. So we're over here in Docklands. We're queuing up because that's the end of the line. And there's about 10 other people in line. And, you know, the tram comes along and we all climb on, get on the tram and we all take our seat. And, you know, me and my daughter, we think, oh, this is nice. And we trundle along down the road, you know, in this tram. And we get to the first stop. And the first stop, they've probably got another 10, maybe 12 people got on that time. And I noticed that there were a few children getting on as well. And they were really good because they stood up and they let the adults sit on the seat. And I thought, oh, I like them, Australia. I like it here because, you know, they're so polite, they're kids here, aren't they? Anyway, we carried on and we went along this top street, La Trobe Street, and we kept picking up. So we went to the next stop and I think there were probably about another 5 or 6 people got on there. And then we went to the next stop over here and a few more people got on the tram. And by this time, there was a lot of people like sardines on this tram. And we're sat in our little seats and we're going along and we're watching everything as we're coming along because we're heading all the way over here to Flinders Street. And then a few people got off because as we were getting closer to the CBD area, a few people got off. And then I started to think, oh, we're nearly there now. And then as we turned round down the road, there was this grand station. And it did exactly what it says everywhere. It impressed me considerably because I love old buildings and things. But I want to ask you a question all about this tram journey. Because I wonder if you've been listening. What colour were the eyes of the tram driver? If you know, put your hand up. One. Sun is on. Oh, you had sunny on. Ah, right, okay. Yeah. Your eyes are hazel, yeah. Because what I said at the beginning was, you're the driver. Yeah. So don't ever get distracted away by all these red flags and things that people say and do. Because what we're talking about today is about how we're getting on with marketing and what clients notice, what you notice, and how we're going to progress in our business. So this tram journey was just the same as your journey. You've got a direction, you know where you want to go. You've got that thought there that, yeah, I really want to have a good hypnotherapy business. I really want to do the thing. I want to help people, just like the tram journey wanted to help people to get from A to B. And of course, just like the tram journey, you had to know who are your customers. Well, I was a tourist. I was the customer then. And you have to know how you're going to access this service. You have to know what are the things you have to do and not do and what you look out for, just like the logos and the things like that that you have on a tram journey. So today, during my presentation, you're going to explore this thing called branding and pricing and selling. And hopefully you're going to learn lots to be able to think to yourself, what shall I do in my business now to make some changes? What can I do to be able to improve my service and to be able to do it in a very ethical way? Because lots of people, and maybe it's you, get very funny about buying and selling, especially if they think somebody's trying to sell something at them. Yeah. But we don't have to be like that because we're going to understand people a bit more, hopefully, and we'll be able to go through lots of ethical ways to buying and selling. So what I'm talking about is marketing. And I love this quote about marketing, because marketing is the generous act of helping someone solve a problem. And isn't that what we want to do as therapists? We want to help people solve a problem, their problem, not our problem, their problem. So today I'm going to use some marketing psychology principles to get us through all this. So today it's about using the way humans think. Now you're good at this already because you communicate. You already know about marketing in some ways, and you know a lot about communicating with your clients. And so it includes how we think. It includes things like cognitive biases. Do we say, oh, I hate pricing. I hate thinking about money in my business. Well, why do you hate it? Do you always think like that? Do you never think like that? What are your cognitive thoughts? Your thoughts that are going on, your preconceived ideas about money. And there's lots of therapists that I meet, because I supervise them, that actually tell me that they hate talking about money. And the first time they have a client, they worry because how much should I charge? Am I charging too much? Is somebody down the road charging more than me or less than me? I had someone who said to me, oh, I'm only going to charge somebody a few pounds. And I said, why is that? Well, I've only just started my hypnotherapy business. I said, but you're qualified just the same as somebody else is down the road. And you can actually choose whatever price you want to get to do. So marketing psychology is all about the fears and the desires of you and your clients. And I'm going to introduce these different psychological aspects of confirmation bias, halo effect, reciprocity, authority, unity, and social proof. And, marketing is about building relationships. And I'm sure you've already heard that marketing is all about building that trust with people so that people believe in you, that you're going to be able to help them. And that's exactly what we all want to do, isn't it? So we can't get away with talking about marketing, I think, in therapy until we talk about ethics. Now, ethics is this moral codes about how we perform. So I believe that we need to be very, very transparent in everything we do. And you'll see from things that I say as I go along that I'm very transparent in my business. And I have no problem talking about money if that's what a client wants to talk about. So in the economics of therapy, they say that this ethics that we have to consider is about normative marketing practices, include the moral and the legal aspects of things. Now, in the UK, we have the standards authority that we have to consider from the legal perspective. I don't know what you have in Australia. Anybody want to tell me what you have here? Have you got any standards that you have to go by in Australia for how you market things? Maybe not. Any other countries that have got marketing standards?
New Zealand's got something.
You TEPs. Ah, right. Okay. Well, I expect if we looked, we'd probably find something in Australia as well about what you can and what you can't say in your marketing. And we've got things that are basic in ethics, like being trustworthy, responsible, being very clear about everything that you do and what you say to clients. So when we're thinking about the psychology of marketing, it's about being clear, open, transparent. But let's start with this thing called branding and who you are as a business. Because if you don't know why you're doing your business, just like the tram journey going to Flinders Street, if you don't know where you're going and why you're doing it, then it's very difficult to get there. So why do you think you are in your business? Well, many people say it's to help people. Well, of course, we all want to help people because that's the type of people we are. But you know, even if you was to talk to a salesperson who sells vacuum cleaners, they want to help people as well. They want to help people have a clean house. So what is it about helping people that we really want to do? Any ideas? A bond, excellent, yeah. Any other ideas? I think we want to help people, but what we really want to do is connect at that human level to help people use their minds in that way that's going to help them to live a long, happy, healthy life. Because we're survivors in life, aren't we, as humans? So understanding your why will help you to connect, first of all, with your clients. So your branding is your identity. So you have to know about you before you know about your clients. You have to know about what type of clients you like, or maybe the type of clients you want to help. You have to know about the type of clients, where they go to, what they do, who they are. Because if you don't know who they are and what you want, then you're not going to link with your identity. So this is your brand guidelines. So how do you show what your brand identity is? Well, you can use your logo, just like I showed you the logo on the tram just now. So if you see a logo all the time of your business, then people are going to start to remember you. Also, what colours you use are quite important. What colours do I use? Blue and green. Yeah. So I use blue and green. That's my brand identity. And we'll get on to it in a bit more about why that's important in psychology. How you actually write. Now, I've got certain fonts that I use a lot because that's my brand identity. So I'm showing people who I am, who I represent, who I want to help. And that attracts people. It's not me going out and pulling those clients in. They get attracted to me by some of the things that I do from a psychology perspective. And then, yes, even the imagery that you use can actually show your style and who you are. And I discovered this by chance as a new hypnotherapist many years ago. And I kept saying to clients, why did you choose me? Because in the area I work in the UK, there's a lot of hypnotherapists. And people used to keep saying to me, oh, it was your picture, Linda. And I felt a bit embarrassed about it. What is it about me, my picture, that made people want to choose me instead of anybody else? Well, it wasn't anything about me as a person, really. It was about the way the picture was taken, that I acted in a very natural way. What does it matter if my hair is just a little bit out of place? It's much better to have a picture like that than a portrait like that where you don't move, because if people are going to connect with a person, the psychology is they want to connect with a person that they can see, that they can talk to. And so your imagery and things that you use are really important. And, lots of people use piles of hot stones and things like that. Well, that's okay if you do that sort of work, but a pile of hot stones isn't telling you how you're connecting with that person. Yeah. So how do you connect with your clients? Well, Carl Jung, hopefully a lot of people have heard of Carl by now. He talks about the collective unconsciousness and this symbolism that helps us to connect with the world. And there's 12 archetypes. Anybody learned all this before? Yeah, a few of you, good. So these different characters all have a name. For example, the creator, the hero, the ruler, the caregiver. And we all act in this certain way to attract certain types of clients. So here they are. So on this picture here, you can see like my colors are blue and green. Yeah. So I'm more around a creator side, and that's why I do a lot of teaching. And I like to do things a bit different in hypnotherapy sometimes. In the UK, lots of hypnotherapists, they work in their house, in their own rooms, or maybe they have a cabin out in the garden, or they might rent some room somewhere, but it's not in your face. People don't see hypnotherapists very often in the UK. They only see them if they go hunting for them. But actually, I decided to be different because I'm a creator. And so I bought a shop with a big flat above it, and across a huge window, I plastered everything to do with hypnotherapy. I wanted to be different. And many people, particularly my counselling psychology friends, said to me, "Oh, Linda, you be a bit careful there. People won't want to walk into your office because everybody's going to see them on the street walking into your office. And nobody wants to be talking about private things, especially if it's, sexual things or anything like that." So I didn't take any notice. And guess what? I'm probably one of the busiest hypnotherapists out because people go along in the double-decker bus and take pictures of the front of my property to be able to see who I am and what I offer because I'm very transparent. But wonder where you are on this wheel. Anybody got any ideas who they are on this wheel? Yeah. Tell me who you think you are. You're a creator as well. Okay, yeah. So do you do things a bit different? Yeah, great. Yeah. Anybody else? Creator and liberation. Interesting, yeah. Lots of people think that we're magicians down here because we've got a lot of power, but I don't like that. I don't think we're magicians really, are we? Because I believe the client's got the power. Yeah, not us. So this is useful sometimes as a starting point for you to understand where you are in your business brand. So why would clients choose to work with you? As I said, there are many people in my area at home that are brilliant hypnotherapists. I actually train quite a lot of them, so I know they're really good hypnotherapists. So what makes you stand out? Well, it's your unique selling point. So what do you think you have as a unique selling point? Some people have a specialist niche, yeah, like sports, yeah. Or maybe you're good at helping people who have menopausal problems or whatever it's going to be. If you've got a niche, perhaps that's your unique selling point. But remember, the client is buying you, not necessarily what you do. So what is it that's unique about you? You need to think about those things. And an easy way of doing it is to say, my service is best because, and then you just fill in your sentence. Or this service is unique because. Or I am the only one that offers, I know I'm the only one that offers help for people who've got problems peeing and pooing in the toilet, in public toilets. Yeah, there's not too many of us around. So I've also gone through and started to home in on my clients. And this is quite an important thing about who you want as a client. So this is I've got a couple of actually clients that I've identified. I've given them a name. I've given them an age. I've looked at great depth where they live, what they do, what they read, who they talk to, what their interests are. Because if you understand lots of things about a client, then you can connect with them in the right places. Otherwise, you do what's called scattergun marketing. You market to everybody when actually you want to really be talking to that person that you want to deal with. So these are probably all very basic things to do with marketing, but I think it's important to highlight it as hypnotherapists because we don't always think about these things. So what's your branding like? Now, I've already highlighted that I use blue and green. That's common. You've probably already noticed I've got a logo on everything, which is on absolutely everything I do, because that's my branding. I've mentioned to you about different fonts and pictures and things like that. And you also need some way of understanding what your pricing is going to be. Because lots of therapists get worried about how much they can charge. So give me an idea about what you might charge for, say, stop smoking. $700, that's Australian dollars. Yeah, okay, fine. Yeah. So 700 Australian dollars, does anybody think that's a lot of money to charge? No? It's pittance. Okay. Well, I can tell you about 10 years ago, I went to a conference and there was someone there who charged over £1,000, so over 2,000 Australian dollars, roughly, for one session of stop smoking. And everybody who heard this went, whoa, my goodness, how could they possibly charge that amount for stop smoking? But this person knew the client that they wanted. This person knew how much they wanted to earn. This person had that confidence that they had managed to get their expertise as high as they could do on all the techniques and things to do with stopping smoking. And that person had many clients that would fly in every week from usually places like the Arab countries. They would fly in every week to London to see him to have stop smoking services because he'd got everything right, including who the person was that he really wanted and had understood his pricing strategies. So he didn't want back-to-back clients every day. He wanted one or two clients per week, but the right type of clients per week. So you need to reframe any negative thoughts that you have on pricing, because pricing is something that holds many hypnotherapists back. And I'm not saying you've got to charge lots and lots of pricing. I don't know if I just show you on the board here. If you think about pricing, some people say, I want everybody down here. And there's going to be people there that perhaps can't afford us. Other people might want middle of the road people. Other people might want people that actually are quite wealthy. Now, my strategy is I aim for people around here. But you might say, well, what about those poor people that I really want to help? Well, the way of getting through that is you do some charity work. That's what I do every so often. And then you don't feel bad about this thing, about pricing, you know, not allowing those people that can't afford you to access you.
By the time you've done, because mine's a 2-hour session, that's it.
Mhm.
But those people that can't afford you actually can once they've stopped smoking.
Yeah, thank you for that. So for those online, just to repeat that, in the audience, it's been said, but sometimes people can afford it, even though they say they can't afford it. Yeah.
Sam, this is just me.
Hmm.
I'm very happy to take a form of payment, perhaps not the full payment. I've built a relationship with them. The minute they've stopped smoking, they can budget to pay the rest.
Thank you. So what's being said now is that you've got a strategy. Yeah. You know how you're going to develop your service. Now, bringing into more specifics on psychology, I want to bring in the psychology of colour, because I've already mentioned what my brand colours are, yeah, blue and green. I've already mentioned about things like my logo, and you'll see what colour's my logo? Blue and green, yeah. Because colour has been proven through research to be an extremely important part of your selling your services for clients. So 90% of the first impressions come from colour. So what colour is your business? Does anyone tell me? You're green, yeah? What? Pink and orange. You're brown, yeah? Pink and yellow. Are you multicolored? Oh, interesting. Yeah. But you see, people get first impression by your colors. You know, if you are a hypnotherapist who wants to attract female clients, then if you have pink on your website, then you know that's pretty obvious. Unfortunately, we do have these stereotypical things that pink is a girl and blue's a boy and all that stuff. We could talk forever about that, but you know, these are psychological things that have been proven, and 93% of clients make decisions on visuals alone. So I mentioned to you, when I ask clients, why is it you chose me? Your picture, they said, your pictures. Because 93% of clients make decisions on visuals alone. So what you put on your website or on your posters or whatever you're dealing with is very important. So examples of this. So colors and things that you put on your logos will stand out. So we all know these logos. And look here, the logos that have got blue in them, and blue is very much a secure color. It makes people feel trust you. They're all the banks have got blue in them. Yeah. Like NHS, the National Health Service, you can see that's got blue in it because it means trustworthy in psychology. And when you look at things like over here, what's this one? Do you know? Starbucks, yeah, see? When you see a logo like that, you know it's Starbucks. Why is it green? Because green is meant to be calming and relaxing. You go in for a cup of coffee and you have a sit down and you have a talk with people, yeah? And all these colors mean something. So we've got Coca-Cola and McDonald's, bright red, courageous, out there type of colors that are going to attract people. So this is a quick rundown of what the colors actually are. So think about your branding at the moment, your business. What colors do you use? Because blue is associated with being loyal and trustworthy. What's my colors again? Blue and green. Yeah, blue. So blue, trustworthy, dependable. Purple is all about wisdom and wealth and spirituality. So if you're a hypnotherapist that might do a lot of past life regression or you know, higher level work, then you might have purple in your colors. Red, power, passion, energy. And the interesting thing about red is there's been some studies done that if you have a lot of red around you, it can actually put your blood pressure up. So if you was to paint this whole room red, it can put your blood pressure up. So it doesn't just have a psychological effect. These colors can have a physical, a biological effect as well. Yellow, optimism, happiness, warmth. Yeah, a few people like that. Have you seen pictures with a bright yellow sunflower on? Yeah, that's sort of an optimism type picture, isn't it? Green, healthy, growth, prosperity. Now, at one time, hospitals all used to be painted in green, or sometimes they use blue, but mainly green. The scrubs of doctors and nurses used to be green or blue. I mean, they go a bit crazy now and have any color under the sun, but it was always because green is seen as healthy. Green is nature. And if you want to put across something like that, maybe you're you work in the health field, then green would be a good color for you in psychology. Orange for anyone, black, elegance, power, authority. What sort of things can you think of where you might have black in it? Any products or things that are black?
I think it's black and white. I got 2 colors.
You've got 3 colors.
Black and yellow.
Blue, black and yellow. So you're also showing with the black, depends on how much black you have in there. But if the black is the dominant, then it can be elegance, power, authority. Yeah. Now, if your type of client is looking for authority, they're going to get more attracted towards you. Yeah, because of what you're selling. White, simple, purist, innocent. Pink, caring, passionate, and creative. So do you think this is all rubbish, or do you actually think that you do get influenced by different colors? Yeah. Any questions from anybody online?
Lily asked when we were talking about the photos.
Yes.
So would you recommend a natural photo rather than a professional one?
Depends on your client. Yeah. Depends on your client. So if you're going for the corporate world, then corporate pictures work well. If you're going to attract, more everyday clients, different types of clients, then you'd have different pictures. My love of my type of pictures for my clients is either something out in nature or a very informal look if I'm sitting at my desk or something like that. So it depends on who you're trying to attract.
Thank you, that makes sense.
Good. Any other questions?
Just purple and white for the colours. Someone else charged $7.50 for smoking. And then someone's asked, will we get a copy of the slides, which I'll ask.
Yes, you can. Yes. Any other questions from anybody so far? Yeah, go ahead.
Stu, there's a lot of talk, and has been for some time, whether you call, so if we're selling ourselves, I think I'm loud enough in my, if we're selling ourselves, Kerry Ellis, it makes sense to call my business Kerry Ellis. But then for those, and I know you're probably going to sort of say comes back to your client, but where is the ideology around having your name as your business, then with some sort of a tag, or just having a business name?
Okay, good question. Again, it is about how you want to present yourself. My business is called Awaken the Change because I don't just do hypnotherapy, and I'm all about change. So I'm also a counselor, psychologist, business and life coach, hypnotherapist. I occasionally do EFT, emotional freedom technique, things like that. And so I wanted an overall business name that was about change. So that's why I'm called that. But if you want to be known by your own name, great idea. Yeah, lots of people do. So there isn't a really right answer or a wrong answer. It depends on your business model and how you want to be presented to your type of clients. Yeah. Does that answer your question? Thank you. So should you work for free? Who thinks you should work for free?
Depending on how you look at it.
Yeah. You work for free to get clients. Yeah. I do the same. I work for free to get clients. So, it doesn't really matter which way you look at it. But, if you offer free things, and this isn't just, free sessions for clients, but if you offer anything free, then you're offering exposure. Yeah, that's the first thing. If you only want paid work, you actually make boundaries around yourself. You are paying for this. Yeah. So it doesn't really matter if you want free or whether you want paid work or a mixture of both, which I think is the best way. It's all important in your marketing to know how the purpose of why you do things in certain ways. Of course, we all want money, don't we? Let's face it. We've all got to live. We all want to pay our mortgage, etc. So we all need money. But, sometimes it's all right to balance it off with some free stuff. So thank you for that. Pricing. Let's go a bit more into some fun stuff to do with pricing. So psychological pricing is based on a strategy of influencing people's behavior, their perceived values, and the prestige to get them what they want. Yeah. Because we know our clients. Pricing can also be based on cost-based, so if you've got a hypnotherapy business here and maybe you offer weight management and you've got this price, somebody's got weight management in the next street and they offer this price. Are we looking at cost-based, demand-based, operation-based? You can look at all those different ways of pricing. But really, in hypnotherapy, in hypnosis, in our type of business, we are not comparing apples for apples because everybody's different. Because if you start at the beginning of who am I? Why do I want to do this? What's my brand like? Who am I selling to? You're going to be completely different to somebody else who's down the road, who's got the same sort of things that you are presenting. So comparison pricing is very common, and lots of therapists compare their prices with other prices, but it doesn't work very well. Yeah. Size and position of your font when you're pricing, particularly on your website or your adverts or social media posts, are quite important because customers equate to visual size and numerical size, and so don't display the price in too big font to start with, because that sometimes can be off-putting for people. Prices seem cheaper also if they're on the left-hand side of the page. And you might think, well, how's that so? Well, there's been research that's proven that where you put your price on the page will affect whether the client will take your service or not. Of course, there is also another big argument here. Well, should you as therapists put your prices out there? Yeah. I'm transparent, so all my prices are out there for everyone to see, but not everybody has the same marketing strategy that I have. Yeah, that's right. You need space around things because space gives people time to think. If you've got all that jumbled up writing in front of you, then it's quite difficult to be able to make decisions about things. So space around font has been shown in psychology to be very important. So don't have too much clutter on your website pages if you want to attract clients through your website and your other marketing. Because space also suggests quality. And there have been some studies done in which they showed people text on a page with no space and text on a page with lots of space to do with businesses. And the people that viewed it actually said, that the business that had space on their page was a better quality business when they'd never even met the people to do with the business. So isn't that interesting that space on a page will either say quality or no quality, or less quality, I should say. Remove commas around pricing. So if you're charging, let's say, I'll just take this off the top of my head, $1,500 for something, it's going to seem cheaper than if you say $1,500. It seems ridiculous, doesn't it? That a comma can make a big difference to how somebody perceives what the price is of something. So take your commas away if you're like me and you've got you know, that mentality of showing everybody what your prices are. Guess what? Other studies have shown that if you use red, it helps people to buy, but it particularly helps men to buy. So if you're trying to attract male clients and you're like me, transparent, then you're going to put red on your pricing. Yeah. However, other studies have shown that some women and different cultures prefer red. Yeah. How are prices perceived by people? So when they actually look at your website, I'm going to keep going back to website, but I mean all the other ways that you show pricing, how you actually present to them will subconsciously, psychologically, help them to make their decision whether they're going to buy your service or not. So are you going to say $99 or are you going to say $100? Most people will go for 99. Yeah. And the other thing about 99 is that people like to go for numbers that have got a 9 or a 5 at the end of it, except for in certain situations, which I will explain. So if you think to yourself, how much am I going to charge? If you're going to charge, are you going to charge $99 or $100 a session? You'd be better off doing $99. Yeah. Or are you going to do $9.99 or $10? If you're perhaps charging for something smaller, maybe it's a PDF you sell, or maybe it's a CD or something like that you sell, then you're going to go for maybe $9.99 rather than $10. Because psychologically, people are more likely to buy $9.99 than $10. Interesting, isn't it? What about $1,000 or $999? Which one do you think you go for? $999? Yeah, I'm sorry to say this is the exception to the rule, that if you have big numbers, then people will go for the more rounded figures. So if you're going to sell something for $1,000, you put $1,000, because people who spend bigger amounts of money are more attracted to the rounded figures. So you could sell for something like, instead of saying, maybe you're thinking about $355 for something, well, charge it $350, because big numbers attract people more when they're rounded. But small figures attract people more when they're broken down into $9.99 or 99. Yes, please ask a question. Just coming up with a microphone.
A lot of marketing that you see nowadays is either $97, $17, $7. It seems to have a 7 on the end. Is there a reason?
Yes, again, people like number 7. But I think most of the studies have been done with 9 and 5, but there are studies also done. In fact, they've looked at all different numbers, But yes, it's an odd number. So we're going to come on to that, which is odd and even numbering. Have I
I've
got?
one question from online.
Yeah, sure.
So what is a big number? More than $100? Question mark.
Depends on your client as to what's a big number. So if you're attracting the people that are down here on the bottom of your scale, so people who don't earn very much money, if you said to them $100 and you know they're struggling to pay their bills, $100 could be a lot of money. But if you're talking to somebody up here and talk $1,000, that's not going to feel bad because they're in this economic bracket up the top. So it depends. Everything that I'm saying follows something else. So if you start with who you are, start with your branding, and then filter it down, then you'll be able to make some decisions. But good question. Thank you for that. So odd versus even pricing. So odd number pricing seems better for lower value items. We've already said, you know, a 9 or a 5 at the end, but also 7s come on the end. So that answers your question there. Yeah, prices ended in 99 cents are very often more attractive than ending in 95 cents. And even or rounded up numbers in pricing are better for prices showing value. So again, if you wanted to have a high figure and you rounded it up to 120,000, whatever you're going to do, it almost says more value to somebody. Seems a bit crazy, but that's psychology. So there's something also called center stage pricing, and center stage pricing is all about options. Now, this is off my website, as I say, I'm transparent. And if you make something stand out or put it in the center, then people are more likely to go for it. So how many sessions do you think I usually do with my clients? 4. That's exactly it. 4 sessions. That's what I always aim for. 4 sessions on most things. Of course, there are going to be, this is just hypnotherapy, by the way, it's not counseling psychology. But most of my hypnotherapy clients have 4 sessions. Yeah. And it's funny because when they choose how many sessions they're going to have, because they have a choice to a certain extent, they will usually improve within those sessions and get their outcome that they want. But of course, they've already had the psychology of me before they've even got to this last page of pricing, because they've already seen my picture on the front. They've already had a video that introduces me to them. They've probably seen me in posts, social media posts, TikTok, all those things that we all do. And so they've already got an idea about me before they even get to me. And then when I highlight something like this, then they're more likely to go there. So with psychology, I just want to summarize that people get influenced to buy, and it's how the price is presented. So it could be rounding up figures, it could be adding 9s on the end, 7s on the end, even pricing, odd pricing. It can be center stage pricing, packages versus single sessions. Do many people here do single sessions or price? What's the usual? Do you do packages or do you do combination? Yeah. Yeah. You sell results. Yeah. I sell results as well, but I like to say, you know, we'll probably get results in this number of sessions, but yeah. Excellent. So, packages versus single session choices. And this thing decor pricing, sometimes some companies, and I know there's an awful lot of techie companies out there that do this now, they put one price there and maybe another price there, a low price, a high price, but they'll put something in the middle. And you think, well, I like to go for the medium price, really. But actually, this high price offers so many more extras than what this medium price offers. So I think I'm going to go for the high price. Yeah. So that's called decoy pricing. Sometimes people choose things related to their birthdays or special events where it comes to pricing. Yeah. Or, there may be other emotional things that are connected. So we position prices at the top or the left-hand corner of places. We remove commas. We consider the color of the font. We consider the space. We put small words near the price. So you want the price to be dominant. You reduce the font size of currency symbols. So again, there's been studies done that if you put a very big dollar sign next to your price, you don't attract people so much as what if you put a little dollar sign and then put the price. Strange, isn't it? But that's true. Reduce font size of currency symbols, celebrate endorsements, and of course, use social proof. So who's better to help you sell your business than other people who've gone through it? And it's not a very easy thing for some people to be able to get testimonials, whether it's video or preferably video, but not everybody wants their face to be online. But testimonials are very helpful because then you don't have to sell your service, they're doing it for you. So the psychology of selling starts with a self-assessment. Do you like yourself? Can you cope with rejection? How much do you value the work that you do? Do you think it's really, really important? Do you think that what do you believe about money? So some people believe that you should charge low prices because you want to attract lots of people. Well, that might be right for some clients. But some people are very scared of advertising for higher prices. And some people really feel confused. You might decide on a model in which you can look to the end of the year and say, well, how much money did I want to earn by the end of the year? And then break it down about how much you need per month, how much you need per week to be able to meet that demand. Or you can just say, sky's the limit, I'm going forward. And maybe you've got a projection in your mind about where you want to be this year, and then it's going to go up to next year, and it's going to go up the next year. Because let's face it, all our bills are going up anyway, aren't they? People buy for their own reasons, not our reasons. So we might think that they need to come to our services because we're a specialist in that area. They might think, they might come to see us because we are different in some way. Or maybe they might come to see us because of the psychology of like attracts like. So if somebody likes the picture of you that they see on the website, if they like the way you behave, maybe they're going to be more attracted towards you. So everything you do and everything you say is important in the psychology of why people buy. There's a very interesting law of reciprocity in psychology, and it goes that when you give, people want to give back to you in some way. And so lots of people in their businesses do give things away. But the problem we've got today is that people flood the market with all sorts of low value, not very interesting things. So if you want to give away things to attract your clients, they often call it client leads, then do something that's a little bit different, or give something that's really valuable to people. Because if you offer something very valuable to somebody, even though it might cost you a lot of money, you'll find that very often it comes back in some form or another. And that follows this law of reciprocity. Now, I offer a free initial consultation with my clients first of all, I like to get to know them because I can talk for the world. So they need to know who I am, what I do, and all those things that we need to say to clients. But, you know, given that free service, many people have said, oh, this is wonderful. I've been able to talk to you. How much should I pay? And I said, it's free. And then they want to give back in some way. So they say, well, I think I'm going to book up today now. Yeah. So sometimes free stuff is very valuable. Okay. I'm cautious of the time. So let's go on to talk about approaches to selling your service. So you need to do that customer needs analysis. So what do your clients need that you are selling? So it's not what you think they need, it's what they really do need. And the way you find that out is perhaps going on social media or asking people, going to different places, reading certain journals, magazines that's related to your client, and they will tell you what they need. And you can use some of these really good tools now, like SEMrush, Answer the Public. I like Answer the Public a lot. Has anybody heard of Answer the Public? Yeah, a couple. So Answer the Public is a great free website to go on to look at what's trending in your area. So you just put in a name or a title of something, and then it will give you the answers. Network, all these things that I've got there. So you have to be clear when you're actually selling about what you're selling, where you're selling it, your price, the people you're going to go to, how you're going to promote it to get their attention, and how you're going to present you and your service. I've mentioned this. This is the triangle here about the different people that are going to buy your service. Should you niche? I think yes. But, you know, particularly if you're a new hypnotherapist, you might say, I don't want a niche because I want to do everything. Well, start off with one little thing, even if it's like, I learned a lot about confidence in my training and I want a niche in confidence, you'll still get everything else coming through the door. But I think you need to niche because it brings in another psychological component of marketing, and that's scarcity. Because if you think that you're not going to get something, or there's not too many people offering that, then you're more likely to go for it because you're seen as an expert. Few techniques here, how to get clients. So with current clients, you can use loyalty programs, Facebook groups, coupons, Groupon. Do you have Groupon here? Newsletters, all those things. To get new clients, you've got to be out there. People have got to see you, who you are. So all the social medias, the giveaways, the advertising, all those things. Although I personally don't do too much advertising now because it costs money and you don't need to. These are all the traditional marketing methods, which I'm sure many of you have done. And by the way, there is research on these types of things as well. So if you dish out leaflets, if you dish out 1,000 leaflets, you're probably only going to get one client that's a full paying client from that. Yeah. Lots of digital methods. Don't forget Google My Business because that's got a lot of power to help you get clients. So make sure that that is up to date. And all the online things that you do. And blogs. I must mention blogs because they keep your Google ranking up. And the thing about blogs is they're evergreen. And I look at my statistics to do with my blogs, and I've got people that still click on my blogs that I wrote probably 6 or 7 years ago. So blogs are good at keeping up your profile. Social media. Yeah, if you don't like social media, I mean, I don't love it, but I do it. But if you don't like it, get somebody who can do it for you. I've got a virtual assistant who does a lot of my things for me. I just tell her what to do. She does it, yeah. So social media, use AI. Now, I've been studying AI a lot since it first came out. I will be doing some training on AI in the near future online because AI is absolutely going to help every single one of you with so many things. If you're not using it already, you need to think about it. Yeah. So that's your 25 ways there of getting more clients using ethical practice and keeping the psychology in mind about all the ways that clients will connect with you. So we've just got like a minute or so left. Any questions? Any questions from anyone online?
What do you mean? One just popped up. What do you mean about avatar?
An avatar is your person that you want to attract. So it's the person. An avatar is an imaginary person. So if you think I want to have, perhaps female clients, that female client might be around 20 years of age, and I really want to help them because I've discovered that they're getting lots of problems with weight management, then that's your avatar. Thank you for that.
I've got a question as well.
Yes, go ahead, Rodney.
I'll just give you a quick scenario. What about when you do the free consultation session and you get them, you do the bit of a phone call and you get them to commit, but then they don't show up. So what do you do about no-shows? Would you recommend a deposit or something like that?
Okay, good question. I do all my free consultations. Some people call them discovery interviews. You could call it whatever you like. I call it initial consultation. I do my initial consultations via Zoom, up to 30 minutes maximum. So they see me because they have to book in through Calendly, my booking system. They get automatic reminders that they need to attend. And if they still don't attend, I send them an email and say, if you still want to connect with me, book again. But that happens so rarely now, it's not a problem. Yeah. So I would recommend booking systems, particularly if you do a lot of booking online. Thank you for that. Okay. Well, I'll call it a close now, but thank you so much for listening to me. And if you want to talk about anything else to do with hypnotherapy or what I do, please see me after the session.